Hey, beautiful people. This is Coach Oakham, and I'm going to do grade 9, AMI day 14. So let's take a look here at the question. So today we have a reading about a lab experiment. Okay, and so before we start the reading, I want to look specifically at what the question is asking. It says, given the materials list and the procedure, describe how the speed of the bubbles is determined in this experiment. Okay, so just want to point out that you are not actually doing this experiment to answer this question. This question really only answers about how you are going to do something in the experiment. And so we should be able to answer this question just by simply reading through the materials list and the procedures. And we should have an idea of what we're going to do in order to determine the speed of the bubbles. Okay, let's read the prompt. Viscosity is the resistance of a fluid to flow. Both liquids and gases are considered fluids. A viscous fluid has a high viscosity. That is, it does not flow easily. A less viscous fluid flows more easily. Viscosity is analogous to the friction of solid objects. Like friction, viscosity inhibits movement and serves as a mechanism for transforming kinetic energy into thermal energy. Liquids like molasses and motor oil are very viscous. Fluid viscosity varies because the internal structure of fluids also varies. Intermolecular forces play a role in viscosity. Stronger attractions between molecules cause them to resist flow. Molecule size is also a factor. Longer molecules can become tangled and flow slowly. When a container is tilted to allow flow, the flowing particles transfer energy to the stationary particles. The viscosity of a liquid generally increases with a decrease in temperature. Gases also have a resistance to flow, although gas viscosities are much lower than for liquids. So here's our material list. It says we need lab aprons, goggles, 3 sealed tubes labeled A, B, and C, a test tube rack, a ruler, and a stopwatch. Procedures. First, it says, as a group, examine each test tube. Observe the air bubble in each. Watch it as you tilt each tube. Your tubes contain syrup, baby oil, and water. Predict which tube contains each liquid. B. Measure the height of the liquid in each tube. Record the fluid height in the data table. Beginning with tube A, invert the test tube and measure the time it takes for the air bubble to move from one end to the other through the fluid. Record the time in the data table. Repeat this procedure 5 times per tube and record your data. E. Compute the average speed of the bubble in each tube. Now, just a reminder, you're not actually going to do the lab experiment. You should be able to answer this question just from the reading. So let's review the question. Given the materials list and the procedure, describe how the speed of the bubbles is determined in this experiment. Well, we first need to know how to calculate speed. If you recall from earlier in the year, speed is the distance traveled divided by the time for that travel. So calculating speed is a distance divided by time equation. So the question here, describe how the speed of the bubbles is determined in this experiment. You're going to have a distance measurement and a time measurement. So describe your process here to answer this question correctly. I hope that helps with today's question, and good luck.